Alright guys, we have a brand new tool out here for us to make millions of dollars off meme coins. And it's not some random crappy tool launched by some random crappy company. This is one of the biggest tools and softwares, DexScreener, in the crypto world. And they've launched this in-house. It's called Moonshot. And you can see here Rex Fencer, which we go through his tweets a lot. He's actually done a really good write-up. So shout out to Rex Fencer. He says he saw a newbie turn $150 into 330K, which you can see down here is the transactions on Moonshot in just 3 days. It's based on Solana. He says, I was curious, bro, what's your secret? He revealed a hidden tool. Now this tool it's not really a secret or hidden tool. It's launched pretty much, you can see right here, with a big new tag on DexScreener. We'll get into that in a second. But he says he's got 5 secrets for 100x gains on Moonshots, which we're going to be going through in a second. But let's go through Kyle Chassey's tweet first, because Kyle Chassey is one of the biggest influencers in crypto. He's got 210,000 followers, Bitcoin since 2012. Someone we track here on the channel quite often. He says, do you want an ultimate Moonshot guide? And he's saying the switch of the meme coin meta is here, which is Moonshot. Now let's quickly talk about DexScreener for a little bit if you're not familiar with it, and then the new feature of Moonshot before we get into the strategies on how not to lose money, because it's very easy to lose money. High risk, but with high risk in this industry comes potentially very high reward, and we'll get into how to do that as well. So DexScreener, we've talked about it a couple of times on this channel. You can basically come and find any pairing, any new token that's being launched. Solana is basically the main one that people look at here, but they also do ETH tokens, base tokens, really big for meme coins, because you're not going to get these tokens rendering, especially if they're brand new. So if we go Solana, we can sort by new pairs. You can see there's going to be pairs that have made literally within the last 5 minutes. Or here we go, in the last 1 hour. We can sort by newest here per age. In the last 60 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes. This is like the degenerate version of coin market cap, where things are going to be rugging, things are going to be potentially doing really well at 129K market cap. But it basically serves as a good discovery mechanism for new tokens, and 99% of them, just so you're aware, are going to go to zero. But the 1% of them do extremely well. If we sort by market cap here on Solana, you can see we've got a few in the hundreds of millions at the top. And to understand what the new edition of Moonshot is, we want to come over to something called Pump.fun. And Pump.fun, it's a bit of a schizophrenic looking website with a lot of flashing colors and tokens. And again, this is like extra degenerate side of the internet. But why Pump.fun actually came around is because, one, they made it really easy and cheap to launch a token. They were an interface that made people like you and I be able to launch a token without having to code up a smart contract. And by standardizing those sorts of smart contracts and tokens, it means you could trust Pump.fun tokens more than you could a random token, because you know that they're not going to be able to just pull liquidity and steal your money. I mean, there's some tokens out there in the smart contract, they say people can buy the token, but they can't sell. It's called a honeypot. And if you see a Pump.fun token, you know it's not going to have a honeypot because they've standardized that smart contract. And so Pump.fun blew up. It's basically like before Instagram, and before you could put a quick filter on your iPhone onto the photos to make them look good, you had to hire professional photographers. Now everyone's a photographer because they got the camera and the filters and the effects all there on their phone. That is what Pump.fun did. So DexScreener is like, oh, why don't we do that ourselves? So they launched Moonshot, and they say, discover the next trending token before everyone else, which is the point of our entire channel here, and the point of our entire inner circle is to get ahead of the mainstream so we can make as much money as possible from them as they come in extremely late. So how does Pump.fun work? You can click on this button at the top here, and they say it's the best place to discover, this is what DexScreener really is, and launch the next trending token. And we'll be launching a token together just so I can show you how to do that in this video at the end. They make sure that every project is fair and safe, which is what I was talking about. Pump.fun did is they standardized what each project would be so that everyone's going to have the same supply. You don't get to choose your supply. They really limit options to make it easy for everyone. No pre-sale, no insiders, which means you're not going to get people to dump who haven't even bought the tokens. Fully audited and unruggable, we talked about that. Buy and sell at any time, not a honeypot, and ownership renounced. Now this is an interesting part which we'll get into down here. So when once market cap reaches 500 Solana, which is currently about 74K, all the remaining tokens and liquidity will migrate to Radium. So this is basically like the kiddie pool, an incubator that allows people to start, and you can see how many projects are actually being made here at the moment, which is pretty crazy. 19,000 tokens have been made in just a few days. Because it's so easy and cheap to launch a token, you get insane amounts of tokens, but only once they qualify, which means the market cap is at 500 Sol, will they be released into the big bad ocean to actually go and try and survive on their own. 150 million to 200 million tokens burned for a deflationary boost. All liquidity is locked by burning the liquidity pool token. Free enhanced token info on DexScreener, because this is an in-house Dex screener. It's sort of like, I don't know, Gmail making YouTube videos arrive in the main inbox because the company Google owns Gmail and YouTube, and therefore they're actually favoring their own Moonshot tokens when you are browsing the app. And I can show you what that looks like right now. If we click Explore Moonshot and we go, let's go to one that's not insanely rude. Let's go to Dogald. You can see inside the app here is where you can buy and sell Connect Wallet. And they give you more info and features than if this token wasn't actually launched inside their Moonshot platform. Now, here is the Telegram post from DexScreener saying that they know there's many issues to sort out, but you guys launched over 2,500 tokens in a few hours using Moonshot. Rest assured that if you had any issues, we'll make it right ASAP. Bear with us. Thanks for participating. We're working tirelessly to turn Moonshot into the platform you all deserve. So you can see DexScreener is fully backing this new project, which is pretty big because DexScreener have come up with some really awesome products in the past. And you know that they're going to be putting all their effort into actually making this as good as possible. And as we've said, probably in the title of this video, there's a lot of people who are making a lot of money. This guy turned $700 into $550K within 9 hours on a Moonshot token. Okay, but how do we do this? Which is a really good question, because as we're talking about, there's 20,000 tokens being launched, and there's going to be so many tokens launched almost every second now because it's so easy to do. They've removed the friction and the cost of creating these tokens, so many tokens are going to now be created really quickly. Which means, that's going to be kind of hard to make money because most of these tokens are going to be absolutely rubbish. And you can see if you go to the trending, they're trying to sort all the rubbish tokens out based on, I believe trending would be how many transactions they've had. Rising, I'm not really sure the difference between rising and trending. You can see there's a lot less. I guess it's probably how many transactions, but at a less sort of market cap. And you can see once again, this yellow bar is the 500 sol. Once they get the 500 sol, they get them out of this kiddie pool and put them into that big real world. And so before I tell you exactly my thoughts on how you can make money buying and selling the right tokens, let me show you how high risk it is. So this guy here, Cryptolian, says he aped 7 different meme coins on Moonshot and lost $200 in under 2 hours. You can see basically all of these big red candles, especially because once they get put out into the big bad world, if we go back to Moonshot over here, finalized is where they've reached that 500 sol. You can see all of these have been fully developed. It's sort of like a Kickstarter feel where they've all been kickstarted and they're out there in the big bad world. But have a look at some of their market caps now. This one's down to $13,000. It's Solify, because as soon as their liquidity was put out onto the actual market, they sold off and took all the value from their holders. 12K, 15K, 13K, 12K, 13K. You can see all of these were dumped once they were big enough to go. Now, it doesn't mean all of them get dumped. You can see Moonshine here is at $162,000. Dot is at $69,000. Moon with Hat is at $188,000. Moon Ape down here is at $600,000. So they're not all going to get rugged. You can actually see by the time they do actually launch, there's a high chance that that is going to get rugged. And even here, you can see this is most likely where it actually got out to the public, and it did drop off, but it picked back up. So it does have the chance to do that. But it does leave me questioning, like, well, most of these things are going to be rugged. It's a high risk world. Why are we even talking about it? Well, it's because with high risk, I believe, comes really high reward. I think most people are going to lose their money in this realm, but if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money. And I got 2 strategies for you. The first one is following the money. So this is the Smart Ape on Twitter. I recommend you come in and follow his instructions in his actual tweet, because what he's doing is very similar to what we do here, or at least in our inner circle, where we track the wallets of the smart money. There's a lot of people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars on these new tokens. They have the inside information, the alpha, before everyone else does. And what the Smart Ape suggests we do is that you can come in and use Moonshot to see all the tokens that have done really well. And then what you do is you see who made the most money on those tokens, put it into ChatGPT, and then render a wallet tracker so you know when this smart money is buying into new projects. You know when they have inside information that you don't. If you want to follow this strategy, come and look at the Smart Ape. We might also do a separate video where we actually run this strategy here on the channel as well. If you want that, put that in the comments below so I know that you guys want it, and then we'll do it. And the second way to make money, which I think is definitely the preferred way, if I had to spend a week and I had to make $1 million on Moonshot, I would definitely choose to use this second strategy over the first one, which is actually being the launcher of these tokens instead of being the buyer of them. You can see actually, I thought interesting, this is Moonshine, which got launched on Moonshot. You can see it's no longer got those Moonshot characteristics up here on the right, but it's been moved down into the Solana ecosystem, out of the kiddie pool into the big ocean. But if you have a look at this yellow button at the top here, launch your token, it only costs 0.02 sol to deploy. And I remember back in the Facebook group days when Facebook groups were really massive and everyone was joining groups and talking to each other in those groups, everyone would just be trying to find the latest trend. What is the latest trend at the moment? You got a lot of celebrity tokens. You got something like Donald Trump and the elections coming up. And basically back in the Facebook days, you'd go and you watch a TV show that was on, you'd make a page about a quote and have access to 1 million people. Well, this is sort of the same thing, but just in the crypto world, where everyone is launching their own token based on trending events. And now it's never been easier for you to launch a token and see how well it goes. And 0.02 Solana, it means for 1 Solana, you can have 50 shots at hitting that right trend. Now, I don't think you should really spray and pray this thing. I would try and focus in on one thing that you could really blow up. I personally would make a really strong Twitter account, a strong Telegram presence, and really give each idea the best opportunity that it's got. But you can try 10, 20 times. If you do it for the next week or so, you could really have one take off. And so let's do this together here on the video just to show you how to do it. Now, I like to use Google Trends. There's a lot of other tools you can use to see what is trending. I like to go to the US because that's probably the most common place where people are trading these cryptos at the moment. And the US trends seem to propagate the whole world, where I don't know if you're a Belgium trend, I don't think most people in the world are going to hear about it. And you can go down to see something like the presidential debate is trending, Bronny, LeBron James' son, being drafted, Venezuela versus Mexico. These are all big trends that a lot of people are going to know about and a lot of people might want to get behind. Now, the other trend at the moment, which is sort of the other half of the Venn diagram, is almost every single one of these coins is a meme coin, and it's like a funny meme coin. There are some, like something like Moonshot, where it's not supposed to be as funny. But then you've got things like Biden with dementia or Olin Musk. You can see the meta at the moment is humorous. So I'm going to pull up my Chrome here and create a token with you just to show you how easy it is. So I've already attached my Phantom wallet because this is all on Solana here. Token symbol, I've got a funny symbol, called Dump. Token name, Tronald Dump. Because in terms of what's trending right now, it is the presidential debates, and then I think Donald Trump MAGA coin just went absolutely crazy today. And then they want you to put in a little bit of a description, so I'll just write, Tronald will never dump, dump meaning dump the tokens, the liquidity, upload the icon. I just made these icons using Stable Diffusion. You can use any AI generator, and honestly, it's like the worse the looking it is, probably the better it is, because everyone has access to these AI tools now. And if you overdo it, I don't think people will like it. If you had a website, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, come and put it in here. Initial buy, which is optional. If you want to be the very first person to buy a token, they say there's no pre-sales, but you can buy it after the token has launched. So say I want to put in, let's just say I'll put in 0.5 Sol here. So I'll receive 19 million dump. Agree to the Moonshot terms and conditions. So firstly, it's going to set up the token. It's going to pull that 0.5 Sol plus the 0.02 Sol just to actually set up this contract. But isn't it incredible how easy this has made things? Without Pump.fun or something like Moonshot, how are you supposed to launch a token? I'd love to see you actually even try, but that just made it insane. So it's now live on Moonshot. There's the contact address there, waiting for token to become available on DexScreener. And once it does, we're going to have a look at it together. So here it is, live on DexScreener. You can see you've got the image up here. You can see you've got the token name and symbol up there. We actually just had someone buy $1.49, which is kind of fun to see. These are the buys that people, they put into a bunch of new tokens. They think if the ticker or the actual name is funny enough, and they hope that this $1.49 can turn into a few $1,000s. You can see there was our original buy there at 0.5 Sol. And I think actually probably the more you buy initially of it, the more people might even trust it. So you might want to come in and test a few of these variables. And if we go over to Moonshot, maybe we'll be able to see it in the new section over here. Yes, we can. Look at that. So we are the 6th latest token, 2 transactions. And I believe if you wanted to get it up into rising or trending, which I might actually do, is I might just trade 10 or 20 sort of transactions so we can see it over here in rising and see if we can get other people interested in it. So we've got 10, 7 transactions. So I might even try to get maybe 20 transactions. I'll just do all from the same wallet, so it's very obvious it's me. But we'll see if we can hack this algorithm a little bit and get Tronald Dump trending. Awesome. I'm curious to see what you guys might be out there launching and how you're going to use the new Moonshot feature. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.